now taking a look at where Manchester United are in the Premier League, currently sitting 14th. More disappointment for them, of course, as they lost at home against Wolves at the weekend. Jules and Mario are with us, and we just take a look at Amorim's record, and it, of course, just shocking. 22 games, 11, just 6 wins in 22. That's pretty much what you need to know in the Premier League from Amorim. Jules, shall I ask you about Don's hair? No, we won't. Anyway. What was interesting, like you're at Old Trafford obviously on Thursday, and you kind of thought, wow, maybe they can ride that wave of excitement and momentum given the drama that we saw in extra time. But it was like everyone had forgotten that had happened, and it was back to rubbishy old Manchester United again.
Yeah, so slow, so pedestrian at the weekend. No Bruno Fernandes, which I think is one of the reasons why, and you could see clearly without him, they just can't do it. They don't have neither the leadership, the creativity, the legs, the brains, just nothing. And the problem is you can't be so dependent on one player. And even when he's there anyway, as we've just seen on that graphic, they don't do it. So I thought the win on Thursday maybe could make something click, or it would be a big turnaround in their season, but for what is left of it. And that was not even the case. Amorim said after, I'm going to play the kids now. So warning everybody, it will be a team full of children, full of youngsters, full of teenagers, and then the big boys will get rested. And then what happens on Sunday?
I'll be honest, I didn't expect anything different from Manchester.
No. But that's a bit of a problem.
Well, I think, and again, similar to the conversation we were having about Spurs, we're moving up the table 1 or 2 places. It's not going to matter to Manchester United when you're that far down, and it's all about the Europa League. So I didn't think that the players, whether Amorim made changes or not, I didn't think the players would be overly motivated for it. I didn't think the fans would care that much about the game against Wolves. The league season is just kind of taking care of itself. All the eggs are in the Europa League basket. And
so why? Well, I know it's a completely different team with different expectations, but Arsenal were brilliant against Ipswich, and all that all could be said exactly the same about them. Their season's over. It's all about the Champions League.
Yeah, but their ask is a whole lot higher, a whole lot tougher than Manchester United's in the Europa League. Arsenal in the semi-final of the Champions League. So I think that there's an expectation that they have to keep their levels high. That competition for places at Arsenal has to be high.
Why can't you do the same with United? Why bring in the
Because
youngsters?
United, we as we sit right now, you kind of know who United are going to play, or the players Amorim is going to use, because let's be honest, it's not that deep a squad to choose from. Most of those names kind of write themselves in there, and your ask in the Europa League, your competition in the Europa League, it isn't, well, Bilbao is going to prove a very stern test. But so far, it should have been fairly routine. Manchester United have found themselves in difficulty when they put themselves in difficulty. But otherwise, I don't feel it's a like-for-like comparison with Arsenal and what they are asking of themselves in the Champions League and the balance with the Premier League.
The reason it's not surprising that they have this sort of performance against Wolves is because that's the normal right now for Manchester United. What they did against Wolves is normal. The abnormal, the outlier is the last few minutes against Lyon in Europa League. That's the thing that is not happening at Manchester United. And so when we think about, well, are you surprised that they were not able to carry on this momentum? No, I'm surprised that they were actually able to come back late as they did in Europa League. That's a surprising thing, not losing to Wolves. Losing to Wolves is become the new normal, really, when it comes to Manchester United, and that's how low the expectations have become for them as a club.
One last thing, Jules, on United. Cunha linked, we're going to see a lot of players, aren't we, linked to Old Trafford over the summer. It's more about who they can get rid of, but Cunha, does that work? Is that exciting?
Yeah, I mean, guess who's Cunha's agent and Ruben Amorim's agent? Oh, yeah, of course, Uncle George. It helps when it's like that. But more seriously, back in the summer 2022, when Cunha was still at Atletico Madrid, they wanted him back then. They decided against it at the time. They spent a lot of money on Anthony, a lot of money on Holland, a lot of money on Zirkzee, a lot of money on a lot of players. And now they're thinking about Cunha again at £62.5 million, something like that, which is a lot of money. He's only 25 years old, so he's still young enough to invest that money in him. But United won't have much money unless they qualify for Champions League next season. But apart from that, they won't have much money to spend. To spend 60 million on one player, you have to make sure that he's the right guy for you. That's what I'm saying. Whether you play as a 9 or one of the 2 inside 10 below, it doesn't matter so much. It has to be the right guy at that price.
Is he the right guy, Ali?
Well, he's the right guy right now for Manchester United because that's the market they're in. They're not in conversation or competition with top-end talent. And Matheus Cunha, while he's a serviceable player, he's not top-end talent. He's not elite. I think we can all agree with that. And so you
it's can naughty as well, isn't it? Like, do you want to bring that into an environment where we've seen?
Look, there are many issues at Manchester United, but among the biggest issues that they have is that they're lacking talent in key positions. Matheus Cunha would be an upgrade, but it's not the jump that you need. It's a step forward, but right now, if you're Manchester United, you need a leap. But you cannot manufacture that leap without being able to walk in a room and actually negotiate with players that are at the top end. If you're Manchester United, you no longer have that power to negotiate with top-end talent because you are where you are on the table, and you are what you are as a club. And right now, as a club, you're a mess.
When you ask that question, is Cunha the right man for Manchester United? The only thing I could think of is he's better than what they have. And unfortunately, that's kind of where Manchester United are right now. Gone are the days where they're pursuing the best in the world and the best talents. Right now, they just have to do with bringing in better than what they have. At least Cunha ticks that box.
Mario, final thought to you on this?
No, I totally agree with what the guy said. You understand now, Man U is just sad in the situation they're in now. You understand that there's nothing down on the quality of Cunha that's offering. But the only thing is that you got to look at what you have. And then if Cunha is not bringing better, then you're making a decision that is out of desperate situation. But away from that also is that it's sad. You know, Man United used to be the team. You go on the field and you walk next to them and you go like, how am I going to beat this team? Now you walk on the field and look at them and then you're thinking like, okay, let's have it, man, because this is going to be my game instead of their game. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, we're going to Manchester United Stadium? I don't care. Let's do it.